Hi, everyone. Today we are speaking with Katrina Friel, and Katrina is an expert in personal branding. Now, I know that you all are aspiring authors and you have brilliant ideas. And, the thing is, you can have a brilliant idea and you can have incredible credentials. All of the people who work with your best-selling book have gold star resumes. They're like they've graduated from the top universities. They're working at the top, companies in tech and in medicine. But if you don't have a following and if you don't have a brand, then you're not going to sell your book. And also, furthermore, most of you who want to author books is because you want a personal brand. Like you want to be speaking, you want to be selling, coaching, or consulting or something like that. So I'm very excited to have Contrita on because I am sure that we are all going to learn from her on how to build our personal brand, including myself, because it's an ongoing process for me. I'm a small business person. I'm figuring it out day by day. So, Katrina, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, my pleasure. I love talking to authors. It's my favorite people.
Good. Well, then we are an excellent fit. So, Katrina, start by telling me, let's go right off the bat, then we'll back up and we'll
Mm,
go more into your background and everything. But let's dive
sure.
straight in and tell us the number one mistake you see people make when it comes to personal branding.
So I have this thought that there's this thing out there about why do authors and coaches starve? And so I like to just come
Love
straight
that.
out
The
and
starving
say,
artist.
I wonder why most authors and coaches starve. And so my belief is that they don't have a whole ecosystem. So this is the mistake people sort of make is they go, oh, let's have a get a book and then that'll fix everything. Well, the book is sort of almost like the first stream of income that you should create. Because to me, when you write the book, you're really getting down into the detail of who you are, what's your messaging. And so you do your rigor. I call that rigor. And that gives you a layer of confidence that you wouldn't otherwise have. So to me, the book comes first, not anything else. So the book is important. And this positions you as the expert in your field of excellence. No book, you're not an expert. It's just the way of the world. So then what we do is we build out the rest of the ecosystem. So from the book, you get a brand. From the brand, you get a website. From the website, you get a TED Talk. From the TED Talk, we then look at bringing that all together in a live experience, a transformational program. And we call this your signature program. So your signature program is really where the money is. The money is not in books. So think
Nope.
about it, the
I
difference.
can wholeheartedly concur with that.
Yeah, yeah. So people think,
Yeah,
oh, I'll make $20 off every person. And it's like, oh my God, that is a long haul uphill. Whereas
it's a lot of
what
books.
you it's a lot of books. Whereas the book will open doors for you to speak. When you're speaking, you're in this moment where people are actually listening, stop scrolling, and a job to do, and that is to magnetize them to you and your message. And then from there, you can create the signature program. And this is where the rubber hits the road. $5,000, $10,000, 20,000 plus high-end premium transformational signature programs. That's what you should be selling. The book is just the beginning of that sales cycle.
I love this. I knew we were meant to talk. Also, I think that, first of all, often say that the word authority has author in it. So that is the value of authoring a book, right? Is then you become the authority. Like you said, you're not the thought leader till you have the book. And also, I agree with what you say, where it's like almost the book is a lead magnet for selling something else. And I'm constantly having that discussion with people. So tell us a little bit more about what signature programs are in case people don't know.
The signature programs is where imagine spending 12 months with people and transforming them from A to B. What I believe the problem is within the coaching industry is they're selling bits and pieces, bits and pieces. Here's something for $99. Here's something for $150. Here's something for 1,900. And it only gives you part of the problem, part of the picture. What I think people are looking for now, because of the last 30 years, they've been buying bits and pieces and got nowhere. So, what I recommend people do, and my clients all do, is we build this signature program, the Rolls Royce experience, so that people buy one program and one program only. The sale is finished. They only put their hand in their pocket once, and then you get on with it to transform them from A to B. So in my program, I just have one program. I just sell that lots of times in a year. And, they get an end-to-end solution, a done for you 12-month program. They don't need to worry about what's missing. Whereas most people in business, when they're starting out with their ecosystem, is they don't know what they don't know. So they buy bits and pieces, thinking each bit and each piece will come together in a jigsaw puzzle. Well, no, it doesn't, because it's all just bits and pieces that actually don't make a jigsaw puzzle. Whereas when you work with someone end to end to create it all from the beginning to the end, I do all that in 90 days, have it set up for them. They don't need to worry about what's missing, because I'll know that everything is in that box, that startup, personal brand, business box. It's all created for them. So yeah, the signature program is sort of like the heavy
Why
hitter
don't you
with,
get
yeah,
Yeah, why
jump
don't you
in.
give us an example? Yeah, just because I love what you're saying. Again, it really resonates with me. Give us an example of what you offer. What is in your signature program? Like you said it was 12 months and you said 90 days, like,
Yeah.
and what that really looks like in a
Yeah.
concrete way.
So it is in two parts. The 90 days is where we build all the assets, and then the rest of the 12-month program, you're out there actually doing it, and I'm holding
Okay.
your hand, mentoring and coaching you. So that's generally overview. And then the way it breaks down is we start off with a 2-day kickoff. So the first day is all about the business plan, what we're building, why we're building it, where the money is, where the money isn't, and really giving you that overview of business and how it's structured and all the things that you need within that one day. It's all done. The second day, we pull out your philosophy, your authority, your expertise, and we put it into an outline where the book writes itself, essentially. And then the next thing, once the book is sort of written, I do all the editing, proofing, formatting, designing, publishing. So that's all done. And then from there, we create your brand in that order. And then the brand, we create the website. And then the website, we create the talk with all the slides and all the things you need. And then once that's done, I see that as the end of phase one. Phase two, then we create the signature program. This is the end-to-end transformational program. So you get out of that a trainer's guide. So the trainer's guide is so good that if you gave it to me, I could train it. And then we turn that into a participant's guide, which is all stripped out and more basic. So now you can hit the road. And now I start to teach them how to fish. So this is where you go out into the world and you start speaking either online or live. Live, I think, is still got the better results. But still, you can be doing a lot online globally very quickly. It's quite easy. So, yeah, so that's kind of what it looks like over the next 12 months. You'll sort of be out there doing it and getting your results and having your meetings with the appropriate people and closing deals. And I'll be watching that and make sure that that happens. If it doesn't happen, then I'll be coaching to make sure you can fish. You've got to be able to feed yourselves.
For sure. Yeah. So tell me, like, a little, again, more concretely, what goes into, um, first of all, like, are you the phishing model that you use, are you using social media? Like, what exactly are you using for that? And then their signature program, tell me some of the examples from clients. That would be really helpful.
So social media, think about our own behavior, how that works. We're sitting up in bed at night, we're scrolling through random stuff, whatever. And some things go, oh, yeah, that's really good. And we might book in for something. And we don't even remember the next day that we did it. We didn't write it in our diary. We didn't know that it happened. So that's why you really don't want to be getting random scrollers booking in for your free discovery sessions. They aren't properly qualified. So my belief is, and over the last 30 years, I still do it to this day, and that is I speak. The more you speak, the more people are stopping in their world and actually thinking about what it is you're saying and how it can help them. Whereas social media is just really random. Never hang your hat off social media thinking, oh my God, all my clients are just going to randomly find me and randomly ring me and randomly book in for a free discovery session. It doesn't happen like that. They don't know you. It just is the worst strategy I've ever seen. So yes, you can put some effort in there, and we do it in a very efficient and effective way. One of the ways we do social media, so you don't have to be worried about it from the back end point of view, is we take your book and we turn it into 300 memes, quotes from you, the author. And so that's social media for a year on one of the days. And then the next thing we do is we get you to do podcasts and live recordings of you speaking, and that goes up as a blog post and gets amplified through social media, of course. But more importantly, what we do is we break it up into 30 or 40 little video vignettes, and that all gets scheduled into your social media. So can you see we're using and repurposing things so that social media is not a burden for us? Because social media can become a burden, and it becomes a full-time job that actually doesn't get results. So I don't know why we're spending a whole bunch of time on it. So it really annoys me that people think social media is going to save my life, and it absolutely doesn't. It will send you broke depending on what you're spending. So I just believe you need to
Okay,
speak.
so I mean, I really agree with that too. Again, I see in my own business, I've maybe gotten one high-paying client ever
Yeah,
in 3 years from social
yeah.
media.
It's
I
very
do think I
random.
need to be on social media
Of
posting
course.
because people look for that for the
Yeah,
social proof, right? They look for that for the validation.
of
So that's
course.
what I tell people is like, have the postings, but like you
Yeah.
said, crank those out. Now, the signature courses you said you sell through speaking. So how do you get speaking engagements? How do people, because all my others want to know that too. How do I become a speaker?
Yeah, yeah. So the way it's sort of done um, is there's two types of businesses. One is the podcasting world, and the podcasting world has blown up. Like this has been a real huge trend for many, many years now, to the point of saturation now. So the way I teach my clients is uh, what I don't want to hear from my clients is things like, I want to be Oprah. And I go, no, you don't. You want to be interviewed by Oprah. So the positioning
Exactly.
as the expert is to be interviewed by the podcast hosts, not you have your own podcast, because your own podcast, you're really not positioned as the expert, you're positioned as the host. And so to me, it's about going where the audiences already are, hopefully, and being on people's podcasts. And I think it gives you lots of social media fodder as well. So there's like this double benefit to doing podcasts. Okay, so that's that. You just get a VA to do all that, book you all in, and then you be the star when you turn up and be good at it. And I teach my clients how to do it well and not be a diva and not be a pain in the ass and just sort of
Good
be,
advice.
yeah, just be easy to work with and be really good and entertaining and listen worthy. So there's a whole skill to that. And then the second thing is live events, but there's two types of live events. There's the paid gigs, and then there's the non-paying gigs, the free promotional events. Now I want you to think about this in two ways. If you get paid $5,000 to speak, which in Australia would be an average industry speaker, in America, if you are not $25,000 per speech, then you're really nobody. So that just gives you the wide range of speaking paid opportunities. Now, it can be $1 million model just in itself, just speaking. The thing is, when you're paid, um, it's great, you get paid, but when you do a free event, you can actually do what we call sell from stage. And when you sell from stage,
Mm.
it's very subtle, it's never in your face, it's never unsophisticated. There's ways and a way of doing it. But you sell from stage, and so out of that room, you can pull out over $100,000. So you're not 5,000, you're
That
not
is such
25,000,
a
you're a
good way to
hundred
look at
thousand
it.
dollar speaker. Yeah, yeah. So to me, I
Wow.
build my business and what I teach, it's easier to do the free promotional events.
Sure.
I don't waste a lot of time chasing the paid events because it's just a lot of hard work, very competitive. And as you say, you've been paid, so shut up, do your job and get off. Whereas when it's free, you can get a free discovery session, take those leads and sign everybody up to your program if and when appropriate. So
That is
that's
such
how
good
the system works.
advice. I
Thank
love
you.
that. How do you
Thank
get
you.
speaking gigs? Both, how do you get free speaking? I would imagine
Yeah.
also, sorry, just one more thought is
Yeah.
that also if it's a free speaking gig, you can probably also have a little more say in what you're talking about, right? Like they're not telling you, oh, you have to speak exactly on XYZ or to whatever, like you can.
It over the 30 years I've done it, I used some of those opportunities where they say, can you speak on this? I've used those opportunities to bring together my thought leadership on that thing.
Mm,
And other times they should love your topic and should want your topic. So if I said, discover how to place your medicine on the altar of humanity, like that's a winner right there. Everybody wants that on their in their festival or in their workshops. So I sell a lot of that one. And then I've got how to become, how to become the expert with 7 streams of income. Everyone loves that one because they're curious about the 7 streams. So what we're doing when we're designing your ecosystem is we're having a look at all the different topics that can go onto your website to 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 grease the wheels and to make people go, oh, I want that one. And so you really are the expert. You should be telling them what their audience wants to hear. The coordinator of these events is often not the expert. They're good at coordinating the event, pulling it together, but they rely on us as experts to say what's hot and what's not.
makes sense. Okay. So how do you get these? Let's talk about the free gigs because you said start there and
Yeah.
don't even look at it as free. Look at it as an amazing lead generator that's going to lead to a
Oh,
hundred
yeah.
grand in business.
It's
Such a
the
good way to
only
look at
way
it.
I do it. I've done it for 30 years and that's all I do. I don't do any other lead gen. That's it. I just speak. Um,
Wow.
and even if I had 10 or 20 people in the room, the less people in the room, the higher your conversion. So let's say there was 20 people in the room, 40% of those people signed up for a free discovery session. That's sort of like the industry average. If you're not pulling 40% of the leads out of the room, then it maybe wasn't the right people in the room, or you were shit, or they're all you know on welfare or something. So let's just assume it was a good room. You did a good
Okay.
job, and you
You
got
did a good
40% of the
job.
room. Tick.
Okay.
You did the average result. So let's say that's what. So that's 8 people. You've got 8 leads. And then of those 8 leads, if I sign them up to my $22,000 program, then that's how much if I did 50% of them. So
If
four
you
times.
did 50% of them, yeah, it would be a
Yeah.
hundred grand. Yeah,
Yeah. So
more or
see
less.
how even in that small
Mhm.
room, I need to be the best I can be because I know there's 100 grand sitting there for me, potentially. Even if I took 2 clients out of that room and signed them up, I've still done really well. Like it was worth my while to get out of bed and get in my car and drive down there.
For sure, especially when you said,
Absolutely.
well, the average fee you get paid 25 grand, but you're saying you just got paid 44 grand if you got two
Yeah.
people to sign up. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the average person starting out, that would be amazing. So then let's look at a room of 100 people. Let's say 100 people are at a free event. You pull 40% of those people. So 40 people sign up saying, free discovery session. You're amazing. I really love it. I'd love to have some alone time with you. Brilliant. Signed up. So that's 40% of people. Now, of that, let's say half of them are actually suitable.
Okay.
So that's, let's say, 20 people. The
Hmm.
other 20 are not appropriate, not now, not ready, could never.
Sure.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons.
Sure.
So let's say that's down to 20 people. Now, of those 20 people, let's say 10 could say afford it. You know, they have a full-time job and they can pay $108 a week for the finance to have it financed. So that's 10. Can you see that we're very close? The two numbers, whether there was 20 people in the
Yeah.
room or 100 people in the room, the more people in the room, the less intimacy there is. And so I feel that affects things. You can still get great numbers out of it, and you should get great numbers out of it ratio wise. But really, when it all boils down, I bet you I'll still end up with the 8. That's it.
So interesting. So how do you get those gigs, Katrina?
So,
Tell us.
what you're looking for is presenter call outs. So, in your field of excellence, depending on who you want to talk to, where are people going? What are people doing? What's the behavior? Are they going to that meetup down the road? Are they going to networking functions, women's networking functions down the road at the local restaurant? What are they doing? Where are your people going? That's where you want to speak. And so I have a strategy where I go to women's festivals. I do very, very well at women's festivals. So I want to line all those up, and they're all booked in ready for next year already. So I know I've already got my opportunities in the diary ready to go. I know I can have a good year next year, regardless. But then what I'll do is I'll pepper that with more opportunities as they come in. So people recommend you, you can Google it, you can do your research. A really good, fun way of doing it is when you're on LinkedIn, notice where other people speak and go, oh my God,
Mm,
there's a conference or there's an event, or where are they going? Oh, that's perfect for me. And then you park it ready for next year or ready for the next one. And you just get in touch. And because you're an author, you can send them a book and say, hey, here's my book. Love to speak at your event. As simple as that. If they get a book, they can see that you're an authority and they can have a quick read of it and go, oh, yeah, I want this. I want this in my, I think this would help my people. So yeah, it's really just networking and reaching out, and there's a whole bunch of kerfuffle that goes with it. You can again use a VA for about $100 a week to sort of just do that initial research and clawing
yeah.
and excavation, if you can't be bothered. But I like my early clients to do the rigor and do the hard work so that they
Mm,
understand the process and they know how hard it is. I like them to know
great
that.
advice. I like that.
Yeah, rather than
Okay.
beating a VA going, why didn't you get me 10 leads this week to speak at events? It's like, well, it's just not that easy. You couldn't have done it. You didn't do that. So why would your
That's right.
VA that you're paying $5 an hour to do that? I don't know.
Right. Right.
So be realistic.
Fantastic.
So I like you to learn how to do it. I know how to do it. I can teach how to do it. And then I want them to do it for a time. And then as soon as they can afford to put somebody on, they can brief them bloody correctly
Yeah. There you go.
because
That's
they've been
it.
there, done that.
So good. So good. This is so sensible, and you make it sound really doable.
Good. Thank
I
you.
know so many authors just feel overwhelmed, and
Of
like in a
course.
state of despair when I tell
Yes.
them that they're going to have to sell their book. Even if they get a big five publishing deal, the publisher is not going to sell it for them. And a lot of people are like, social media. So this is so wonderful to have an alternative to social media that really focuses on the speaking aspect.
Yes.
So, Katrina, tell me, like, can you give me an example of a client and take us through their whole journey with you from A to Z?
tell you a fun one.
Okay, good.
I usually work with women. This is a man. I usually work with women between sort of 40 and 55 or 65, that kind of realm, where they've earned their three stripes. So to
They've
me,
had some
earn your three
authority. They've
stripes.
got,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. At 40, you
yeah.
enter the beginning of your peak. And so
Mhm.
that's where you put your legacy, your personal brand together, and you start working on the peak of your career, which if you think of it as a bell curve, first stripe, second stripe, third stripe, and then 40 years of you at your peak from 40 to sort of 80, whatever. Anywho, so he was nothing like that. He was 85. And within 1 year, we did his erotic 8-book series. The books were this thick. It was very, very confronting because it was very sexy and erotic. And I kept
My
visualizing this
gosh.
85-year-old guy every time I'm editing it.
Was
Anyway, brilliant.
wow.
He did a full 8-book series in that 1 year. I was so amazed. So amazed. And look, I tell you that story just for fun because I just am so proud
Yeah.
of him. And he's now done it. And the twist with his story was that his wife had died and he worked with her as a ghost, and they wrote the book together as he channeled what she said.
Oh, how
I mean,
lovely. Can you
amazing.
tell us the name of the book? Are you allowed to share?
What was it? Hang on a sec.
It'd be fun to see since we're all a
Yeah,
bunch of authors here. Authors and storytellers. I love that story. And is he doing any speaking as well? Oh, there we go. Oh my gosh.
Adonis Awakens, but that was the first in the series. There's a whole range, all
That is
channeled with his wife.
amazing.
Yeah, yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
we'll
that's
talk.
not a typical story. So
No, no, but talk about a legacy though, right? What a
it's wonderful that he got
legacy.
it out. He got it out of him, and his wife would be proud, and then they'll join each other at some point and go, "Yay, we did it! Yay!"
Yep,
Anyway,
yep.
I don't normally work with that kind of book. I usually work with non-fiction,
Mhm.
of course, more the businessy books stuff,
Yep.
and we're building an ecosystem around that. So let's have a look. One of a really good example is the VA Institute. She came to me saying, "Oh my God, I loved your speech. I loved your energy. Let's have a free discovery session." So we did. It was like 4 hours long.
Oh
I
my gosh.
completely showed her how to create an industry body. So we created the industry body for the VA, the virtual assistants in Australia. And
Okay.
yeah, so that creates the book. She's now onto her fourth book. We're just working on a number of different books at the moment because they've been with me every year since. They hit the $1 million mark in revenue in their third year. Um, they went
Selling
to
what?
speak
Selling
around the
what?
country, talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the virtual assistant industry, confidence, starting your own business, going from EA to VA. There was a whole bunch of things that we could help
Okay.
speak about. And so we
Okay.
put together speech after speech after speech, and it just evolved from there. But she had a number of different businesses. And it takes the VA from the beginning, their startup journey, right through to when they're wanting to become an agency and, so on. So, it's the evolution of their little businesses, which is amazing. And we created this industry body because there is no industry body. The body here, the
Wow.
association here is inept and ridiculous, and really good room for coaching and training the industry and certifying the industry, and so on here in Australia, because we're very unique compared to the Philippine model or the other VA models that are out there in the world.
That's a fantastic example. What a cool
Yeah.
story.
And
Yeah.
we're still friends and we're still working with each other. And it's just the greatest thing and I love doing that. I like creating what I call institutes. So the latest one right now that I'm in the middle of editing, is the Family Violence Institute. So we're creating a
Mm.
whole training and coaching around helping victim survivors as well as the practitioners and the professionals in the industry. So we're going to do a two-pronged approach there. So that's kind of my jam. I love to sort of say, hey, let's be the true leaders in this field of excellence. Let's move the goalposts and let's fix what is wrong with our industry.
Very cool. That is really important, great work that you're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing some of those examples to help us visualize it. Can you tell us about the 7 streams of income?
Yeah. So the first one is authorship. So your book and your ebook. And some clients do cards, like they might do some sort of oracle card, and that's always fun.
Mhm.
And there's a whole bunch of little sort of products, I suppose, that you can create out of your authorship. So author, speaker, and as I've said, there's 2 ways to do that, and there's paid and non-paid. So that's a whole income stream that you can look at. Then there's the training, and the training is business to consumer and business to business, and there's a whole thing around that. And then there's coaching, and then there's mentoring, facilitating, and consulting. And so every brand has these opportunities within it if you can create the ecosystem that supports it. And so that's what I do for my clients, is show them the bigger picture here. It's never just a book, ever.
Mhm, mhm. Can you give us an example of that? Can you give us an example of the 7 streams of income for yourself or one of your clients?
So the book is obvious. You make it costs you $20 landed. A full color book these days, nice, significant book is around $20 landed in Australia anyway. If it's a black and white book, you probably get it landed for 10. And then so you can sell that. But if you earned $5,000 from your book in a year, it would put you in the top 1%
Yeah,
of
yeah,
authors.
yeah.
So that just gives you some example of why we speak, because only when we speak do our books become the T-shirt at the rock concert. So only then do they want to buy it.
It's a good analogy. I like
Yeah,
that. I'm
yeah.
gonna have to steal that from
So
you.
that's the reason they buy
But
it.
take us through like an actual client, like an actual example, hardcore, concrete example of somebody, yourself or a client. What is the book? What is the coaching, consulting? What are the spokes?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to so the book could be we're doing a book at the moment called The Closed Eyes, which is the family violence one, and then
Okay.
we'll turn that into a talk. So that's your speaking. She'll be able to talk from 2 points of view. One is to the victims and one is to the practitioners who are in the industry helping them.
Okay. Okay.
So there'll be 2 different prongs approach there. Then the training program will be where the survivors work through a 12 session, 12-month program to
Oh,
get
I
themselves
see. Okay.
together.
I see.
And it'll be a transformation from their, oh my God, I've just lost everything, to I've got
Yeah.
to heal from this. And
Yeah.
then the coaching program will be the exact same training program, just one-on-one. And the mentoring
Okay.
program will be year 2 when they're healing a bit more. You want to work on your goals. So let's take that to the next level. The facilitation is going into organizations where, they're working in the family violence, industry. And we go in and, we'll speak and facilitate their development, their professional development. And
Mm.
then the consulting piece, she'll be invited into organizations to sort of go and do a bit of an audit as to where the practitioners are at, what's their mood, what's the culture, what's going wrong, how do we avoid burnout, and blah, 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 blah. There's a whole $1 million model just in the consulting.
Thank you. That was very helpful to
Yeah.
have that.
That just gives
Yes,
you an
thank
example of
you.
what I'm going to do
Yeah,
with her. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Fantastic. Really great.
Yeah. And this works for
Tell us a little
everybody.
bit.
This works for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, no, all of my clients are most all, not all. Some we have some children's book authors, but for the most part, they're nonfiction. And
Yes.
as I said, business leaders and thought leaders. So that's very
Oh,
much
and she's
something
got
that,
her children's book within that. We're going to do a
oh,
children's book within that
cool.
because,
Great.
yeah, when they've escaped the abusive relationship, here's a little
Yeah.
book to help soothe the child at night and make them understand, but without being too, prescriptive about it. So that's going to be fun. I love children's
Good
books.
idea. Me too.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your journey and like how you got here.
So, about sort of 30 years ago, I was working in my last job, my last corporate job. And funnily enough, I never wanted to have kids. And I'm 56 now and I still haven't had kids, just by choice. But at the time, I had accidentally fallen pregnant. And so that had changed the trajectory of my husband and my life. And we ended up having a miscarriage, and it was very strange how
Mm.
much grief was there. And it was just such a tragedy, and it really affected him quite badly. And I know I cried literally for 5 days straight. It was just horrendous. But I was in a very weakened state at that time when I saw this ad. And in those days, ads were always black and white, but this was the first color ad I'd ever seen. And it felt like the ad had my name on it. It felt like Katrina Friel, please apply. I just was magnetized to it. So anyway, I met with the guy. The guy was a complete lunatic. And I didn't listen to my intuition. My intuition was saying run as fast as you can. But again, I just wanted a change. I was just so sick of corporate. I'd had the miscarriage. I was really ripe for the picking. It turned out that we paid this guy 30 grand. He had absolutely nothing. And my lawyer said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And they said, "Is there a chance you've learnt a $30,000 lesson?" And within that one moment, I just shifted and changed and was blown away by the powerful question, because you know what? I actually had. And the lesson
Wow.
was that everything I wanted was already inside of me. I did not need this external idiot. I didn't need to seek that. So it was a good lesson, expensive lesson, but it is what it is. And now, because of that lesson, I really add a lot of value for my program. There's a real value stack inside my program. And I think that is in response to what happened to me, getting nothing versus getting a whole bunch of stuff inside the program. So anywho, I then had learnt that lesson. And every time I would train or coach or be out there speaking, there was always one person that would come up to me and say, "God, I would love to do what you do. Love it." And so I started to think, well, how do I do it? How did I work it out? Like what is happening here? So I reverse engineered it and started to train in groups. And I would do these small groups, small intimate retreats. I loved them. They were so juicy and they loved it. It was so juicy. We just had the best time. We learned heaps. And then I'd turn around and look to see where they were at, and they'd done nothing. And I thought, oh, why haven't you built your website? Where's your book? Where's your talk? Where's all the things we talked about? And they were like, oh, whatever, excuses. And then I realized they get overwhelmed. It's a lot. And I realized I have to, and I started doing done for you before it was even a thing. And so
Mm.
I've been doing done for you now for over 25 years. And what's fascinating is that was the online bubble. That was the online, everyone do an online program. And after all these decades, 75% of people who buy online programs don't even open them.
Wow. Is that right? What a
Yeah. And of,
statistic.
of those people that open them, 95% of them don't complete.
Don't do anything.
No. So again,
Ah.
my program is not online for that very reason. It People want done for you. They want one-on-one. So everything I
Mm.
teach, everything that I do is one-on-one done for you. And I teach my clients that exact same model, because there's plenty of people out there flogging online programs. Go buy that if that's going to work for you. But ask yourself, how many have we bought and how many have we not opened, and how many have we not completed, and how many of
Yeah.
us do not learn that way?
Yeah.
40% of us are kinesthetic learners. We want to have a relationship. We want it to be interactive. We want it to be personalized. That's the world we live in now. And I'm delighted to see over the last 5 years, done for you, done for you, done for you. Can you see it coming up through the
Oh,
pipeline?
yeah.
So everyone's reversing around and coming back around to done for you. And I am pleased, because this is why most people fail, is because they just don't get the support they need. They don't know what order to do things in. They don't know all the things. They miss whole chunks of stuff, and they're too busy chasing the silver bullets. There are no silver bullets. It's a whole ecosystem that comes together and works together to make you a expert in your field of excellence.
So good. Yes, I agree. Wonderful. Well, tell us everywhere we can find you and how we can connect with you and all that good stuff.
Oh, look, it's easy just to go to the website, I reckon, because if they wanted the socials, it's all connected there. So just go to
Okay.
becomingtheexpert.com.au. And I recommend that if you want to have me have a bit of a dig around in your field of excellence and to see what we could create within that, have a free discovery session. And if you want to go off and build it yourself, feel free. You absolutely can. But then again, if you want me to build that for you, then I can. The other thing that's on the website is a free checklist of inclusion. So they're able to download the checklist and see what we're going to build for them, in what order
Very
we're going to
nice.
build it. So download that. I think that's a really good resource to sort of start the
Okay.
meeting with, so that you know what's in the program per se, or what you're going to have to build yourself. Either way, it's a cheat sheet. It's a good one.
Terrific. Wonderful. Okay, becomingtheexpert.com.au.
.au, because I'm in Australia.
We'll
Yeah.
have it everywhere. Yeah, exactly. You're in Australia. We'll have it everywhere too. So no worries. People don't have to remember it, but I like to say it out loud.
Yeah, me too. Me too. But it's a
And
good spot to
really
land.
delightful.
Oh, look, thank you for
Yeah.
having me on. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
No, it's great speaking to you. You've given me lots of ideas
Oh,
and
good.
I love your energy. And yes, thank you for taking the time.
Pleasure. Can't wait to see you soon.
Stop.